Hey YouTube, today we're going to be doing a video on 10 easy steps to prevent your home from being broken into. And with the state of the economy and people losing their jobs or not enough jobs out there, crime rates have gone up. And so we thought this would be a great video to do. A few stats that I'd like to put out there that you probably would know is there's 1.6 million break-ins across the United States of America, and 65% of those break-ins know their victims that they're breaking into, and 65% of those break-ins happen during the day, which would make sense because a lot of people are working during the day and people knowing that they're not home. And the average break-in is about 8 to 10 minutes, and the average value stolen is about $2,400. And if you think about that, 8 to 10 minutes for $2,400, if someone is in your house for even longer, it can be a lot more from there. So yes, I think Kimberly is going to start with the first one here, and we'll go on there.
So the first one, it might seem pretty obvious, but is something that's very important. Obviously, when you leave your house, you want to make sure that you lock your doors. Even when you are inside, locking your doors can be a really good way to stop people from entering your home and just walking in if they think you're not home. Something that's really important if you have a garage, making sure that your garage door is inside.
The inside of the garage is locked, yeah. So if they get access into your garage, they now still have a door to go through to get inside your house.
Yeah,
Don't leave that one open.
Thinking that, oh, my garage door will protect me, making sure that one's locked as well. Sliding doors, making sure those are locked too. If you have sliding doors or if you have any sort of patio doors, making sure those are locked as well.
And a quick tip on those ones, what you can do is measure where your back of the sliding door is to the outside frame, measure that, slip a little piece of wood in there, and then that way if they do get the door unlocked, they still can't slide it open because of that wood.
Because it's almost like it's jimmied in there.
Yeah, it's jamming,
Yeah. Moving into a new home, make sure that you know where all of the doors are in a new house, as well as making sure that they all have locks on them. Obviously,
change your locks in the new
and
house.
making sure that you have locks on all of them. Some back doors won't have locks, some patio doors won't have locks. So moving into a new home, that's something that you would want to consider. Another thing, actually, is making sure that you put a lock on your electrical panel. This happens, the statistics are more in the States than anywhere else, but this happens particularly in the States. People will often cut your power. And if you have a lock on your electrical panel, if it's outdoors, then they can't get in, and that's something that's a bit of a hassle for them to have to break into as well. So making sure you've got a lock on that electrical panel is really important too. One more thing I think in terms of locks is making sure that your doors, if you have your front doors with the hinges on the outside, you're going to want to change those to the inside. Making sure that they're on the inside of the door to your house, or any doors to your house, makes sure that someone can't come in with any appropriate tools and bang out those hinges to be able to actually take your doors off. Depending on how long you're away, if you are away when someone breaks into your house, that can be a little bit messy.
Yes, it's quite simple to knock the pin out of those hinges and just get in and don't have to worry about the lock at all. Number two is keep your area well lit. On our property here, we have a lot of motion sensor lights, solar powered of course. However, what you could do in the city is install programmable switches so that they go on. It looks like a standard switch, but you can program it to your area, and it'll turn on your lights on and off as you set that time. So if it's a 7-day cycle, say you're going up to the cottage on the weekend, you can program it during the week and it'll come on while you're up at the cottage. And also you can install photo sensors, which whenever the sun goes down, your lights automatically turn on, and you actually don't have to worry about programming that switch at all. It's just a device that you can do that with, and you just mount it outside, and when the sun comes up in the morning, it turns all the lights off, and c'est la vie.
So it's automatic, which would be very convenient, less hassle.
Yes.
So a third tip that we have to make sure that it appears that someone is at home is to leave your lights on at night, whether that's an outdoor light, whether that's an indoor light, perhaps over your sink or in the living room or whatever, making sure that you leave a light on or leave a couple lights on, depending on if they're LED or solar or what have you. You can leave lights on to make sure that people are under the impression that someone is home at all times. Something else to be cautious of is people scoping your place out during the day. If you make it appear that someone is at home, if someone comes to the door during the day, oftentimes before a robbery takes place or before a break-in takes place, people are going to come in and they're going to, or going to try to come in, they're going to try to scope your place out beforehand. So making it appear that someone is there lessens that chance of people wanting to scope your place out because they think that someone is at home.
Yeah. Number 4 is make sure you get someone to watch your house if you leave for an extended period of time. And it doesn't have to be someone that actually goes in your house. It could be just a neighbor across the street that glances out their window once in a while and notices, hey, there's someone there, or a car's in the driveway that they don't recognize, because typically neighbors will know who's coming and going from a certain residence, and they'll realize if that car looks suspicious or not, or if said person is supposed to be at that property. So make sure you just have someone watch your house, or you can have a relative that passes by your house every couple days if you're gone for weeks at a time. Maybe does a lap around the house, check if there's any broken windows or any of that, or any damage done to the house. So it's just something simple like that you can take into consideration.
Yeah, absolutely. Dependent on where you live, tip number 5, dependent on where you live, you may have a lot of trees around your house. Suggestion would be to remove those trees from around the immediate vicinity of the house, maybe they're in your yard, whatever, so that you don't have as much brush covering your house, and to put some plants with thorns, rose bushes immediately comes to mind, put some plants with thorns around the windows of your house, so that if someone feels like they should or they could break in through a window, that they're going to have to go through rose bushes or go through plants with thorns. It's just an extra deterrent to stop people from trying to get in through a window. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Number 6 would be what I would like is a barking dog. And this doesn't actually have to be a big dog of any sort. And it's just they're great alarm systems for when you're at home and when you're not home. Many people don't like the robbers hate 2 things, humans and dogs, because they make so much noise. And you don't need a big dog, so you can get a little yappy chihuahua, and that's good enough, because if you're at home sleeping and this thing's barking, of course it's going to wake you up, and now you can go and investigate. And there are some videos out there on YouTube where you see these little Shih Tzus chasing robbers right off the property over the fence. Yeah. So it doesn't have to be a big dog, but any dog works. So a barking dog would work.
Oftentimes, because people don't know if a dog is scary or not, or aggressive, it doesn't necessarily matter the size, as long as it's a dog that's going to make some noise. That's right. Absolutely. So tip number 7 would be to invest in a home security system. Whatever that would be, there's different costs associated with that. You can get a camera system if you choose. You could get any any kind of brand of camera, but some sort of camera system would be a good idea. Having a bell on the door, so a lot of times shops, when you go into shops, they'll have a bell on the door so that the person can hear when somebody walks through the door. That's a good idea for your home as well, just so that you can hear when people are coming and going. Obviously, no one should be walking into your house uninvited like they would with a store, but that's a suggestion as well, to have a bell on the door. Or, if that's not your thing, to make something fall when someone comes to the door. Obviously, this is something you'd only set up when you're not expecting company, because you don't want guests walking through the door and getting hit with something. So that's another suggestion. If you're not into the bell, that could be something else that you do. So a small door alarm of some sort would be a good idea. So it's there's a statistic that says that if you do not have a security system, it's actually your chances of being robbed are up 300%. So I don't know about you, but that's a big increase in having a security system versus not having a security system. If having one decreases my chances by 300%, I'm definitely going to invest in that. there's only 17% of people in the US, I believe,
Yes.
that have a security system. So something that's worth looking into, something that's worth investing into. Again, you don't have to spend a ton of money. You can be a little bit creative with the types of alarms that you're setting, but it's definitely something that's a good preventative.
Absolutely. Even if it's just one Wi-Fi camera that you put in front of your main door or apartment building or condo, something that records something, right? Or you can even get those dummy cameras, and that's a deterrent.
I know there's apps too that you can install on your phone where someone rings your doorbell and the camera comes on and shows you who's there. So that's right from your phone wherever you are.
Exactly.
Which is really cool.
That's right. Number 8. This one I would say has mostly to do with a lot of homeowners. And usually it comes to that number 8 step is don't flaunt your health or wealth. Sorry.
Don't flaunt your health. Yeah, that too.
Yeah, that's right. So don't flaunt your wealth. That's how many times I've gone out running early in the morning in the city when we were living in there, and you see people sitting there with these massive plasma TVs or 4K TVs and stereo systems, and then you see a Mercedes in the driveway or whatever luxury vehicle.
Or a Hummer in the open garage.
Yeah, that's right. So like, make sure you kind of don't show off to everyone, because you're just going to be setting yourself up as a target, and they're going to start scoping your place out, and you're not going to expect it. It's nice to have nice things too, but don't shove it into people's faces that they're actually going to come and take it. So
yeah. Well, the whole world doesn't need to know about your massive TV either.
That's right. So if you're going to have that in your living room, and I understand setups are kind of you got to go with something, put on some blackout drapes or something like that, so when you are watching at night, you can close those drapes, and now they can't see the blaring screen coming out the living room window.
Yeah. Not that you can't have nice things, just take the precautions to protect said nice things.
That's right.
Yeah, absolutely. Perfect. Yeah. So number 9 would be a tip for if you are gone for a while, or if you are on vacation or whatever somewhere. If you're gone for any extended amount of time, making sure that you, again, as I said, have that security system, getting someone to cut the grass. So this goes with kind of making sure that it appears that someone's living there. If you're gone for, 3-4 days or a week, whatever, making sure that you have someone to pick up your mail, making sure that you have someone to cut the grass, making sure you have someone that your lights are on timers, so that, or to turn your lights on for you, so that it appears that people are home. So making sure that you have those kinds of systems in place, that would potentially require the cooperation of another individual. But as Andre said, if you have a relative or you have a neighbor that's willing to check for you, or to pick up your mail. Another really big thing that has actually come about only in recent years, do not post on social media. If you post on social media that you are having a grand time in the Bahamas or the Calypso Islands or wherever you're going, you never know who's watching. Like, the internet is out there for anyone and everyone with a Wi-Fi connection to use. If you post to something on social media or on Google or wherever, people are going to see that, and you never know who's going to see that. If someone with not so nice intentions or malicious intentions happens to see that, and it's the wrong person, that could land you in a lot of trouble and potentially cost you some money. So if you're going to post pictures, if you're going to take pictures and post them, wait till you're home would be our suggestion, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you can relive those great memories anyways. But yeah, that's a really big tip. I think that's one of the biggest things that's come about since the rise of the internet, for sure.
And if you don't believe what Kimberly's saying here, there's I'm not sure if it's still around, but there used to be a website called Please Come Rob Me. And it's basically a website, and I'm not even kidding, where people post on Facebook, and they take any post that says gone from home, went to the dentist, or whatever, gone to the grocery store, or whatever little thing. It goes onto this website and posts your location, and now you're set up for a robbery.
A robbery,
That's
yeah.
right.
And I don't know if that's meant as a joke or not, but it's definitely a point worth proving.
That's right.
Yeah.
And number 10, the final one, is if you are either at home or going on vacation, if you have a car outside, make sure you leave it locked, or that you do lock it, and take any keys that you have in the house, any spare key or that are in the car, take them out of the car, and most importantly, remove your garage door opener. How many people think about everything but that garage door opener, and all it takes is for someone to smash your window, even if it's locked, hit that garage door opener, and in they go, because they know many people don't lock that door on the inside of the house going into the garage. So that would be our final tip.
Yeah, just making sure you cover all your bases.
All your bases, exactly.
How silly would it be if you blocked everything else but forgot to take the garage door opener out of your vehicle?
Exactly. Anyways, hopefully you got some good tips out of this, and we'll check you on the next video. Take care.
Take care.